Hello, my everything spooky loving peeps. This is Kat, aka Kakibot, and today, again, I am not coming at you from Scotland. I am actually in New England, and we are here for our honeymoon. And this is the second video in that series, and we are in Salem. A lot of you asked us to come to Salem, so we're here. No, we're not here because of you. We're here because of ourselves and also our friends, because you might be wondering, who is this person who is in Simon? This is our friend Lawrence, who is much more educated in the history of Salem. So you just recently moved to Salem, right?
Yes, I've been here just about a year.
And you're loving it?
I am loving it, yeah. I came from Manhattan, and this is such a different vibe. It you know, similarly to a lot of places in this country, it has a very troubled history. But that is, you know, part of what makes it interesting. And the troubled history has been kind of overgrown by a lot of modern cultural movements in a very interesting way. And yeah, the vibe here is very weird and cool. Yeah.
When we first came here, you told me that historically Salem had kind of ups and downs.
So originally, the area of Salem was called Nom Keg, which it was meant good fishing place. And it was a fishing place and trade route for the indigenous people who lived here. When the Europeans colonized, they called it Salem, which is short for Jerusalem. And that started a period of pretty violent religious supremacy. And that kind of culminated with the witch trial hysteria in the late 1600s. At that time, Salem was poised to be kind of the Boston of this area. It was going to be a very prominent port city. But the witch trials obliterated the reputation of the area. No one wanted to come here. It was very embarrassing, you know, embarrassing / horrifying. So it took until the 19th century for the city to kind of grow back. It was, again, a very popular, culturally important port town. There were lots of lecture halls and theaters. Oscar Wilde came here on his American tour to give his lecture on interior design. Which is very exciting and like very cool part of the history. And at that time, it was beginning to come back as a tourist destination. But in the 1920s, there was a horrifying fire that took out half the town. And that kind of set us back again. So in the 1990s, at the 300th anniversary of the witch trial hysteria, we built a big, beautiful memorial to the victims of the witch trials. And tourists started to come back. And now we have a really beautiful, diverse population of sort of different kinds of pagans, people who identify as witchcraft practitioners. We have the home branch of the Satanic Temple. We have so many different like diverse spiritual practices who come to live here, and we have the highest per capita witch population in the world, which is very exciting. So it has properly been reclaimed now.
Okay, so I think that now we're gonna go check out the cemetery where you can visit the witch trial memorial. If I remember correctly, you told me that the bodies are not actually buried there. They're
Correct.
Still somewhere in the woods where they were
Right, by where the hanging tree would have been.
Okay.
They were just kind of dumped unceremoniously. It's extremely sad, but we decided to leave them where they were and build the memorial in town where people could visit.
Oh, well, that's nice. And then we're gonna check out some of the stores that are your favorites as a local. I think that on YouTube a lot of the videos are very kind of like tourist centric. So maybe we will take you to some of the places where maybe as a tourist you would not visit. We're going to your favorite place.
Yeah, real pirates.
So this one is the better one out of the two museums you have on piracy.
You know, they both have their merits, but this one is far superior.
So we just got out of the Pirate Museum, which was amazing. It's actually this like great like storytelling experience because it's all about just like the story of one ship, which I wasn't expecting, and I super love it. It was the ship called Ouida, which used to be a slave ship, but then it was reclaimed by a pirate crew. It went from the least sort of freedom representing use to the most egalitarian purpose it could have had at that point on the seas. So yeah, it was really fun. If you're interested in the culture of piracy, this is the place to go when you're in Salem. So because we actually had 3 nights in Salem, thanks to our friends who let us stay in their place for free, yay, it meant that we kind of had an extra day to figure out what to do with. And we asked our friends and they had this idea for us to visit the Hammond Castle, which kind of looks like a European medieval castle, and obviously, as you can imagine, this not being Europe, it is missing a couple hundred years on actual medieval castles, but it makes up for it in the human story behind it. It was actually finished and moved into in 1920s. It was owned and designed by essentially a crazy inventor man. No, I mean that in the most loving way possible. This was Jack Hammond Jr., who lived here with his wife and many cats. He sounds like an all-around amazing dude. He invented like dozens, if not hundreds of things, and he was kind of living off the patent money. Genuinely, this seems like a true motivational, aspirational story to me. I would love to do the same. It's like, no kids, just cats, and live in a castle that I've designed myself. There's a lot of cool details in there. For example, a nude statue of himself as the god Neptune, which he had made for his wife, who apparently did not super love it. She told him to hide it away and not embarrass her, but he still put it into like the nice little courtyard, where he also used a child's sarcophagus as a diving board. So this is the sort of man Jack Hammond Jr. was, and if you want to learn more about his amazing, lovable craziness, you should definitely visit this place. Let's do this. So for the first time ever, we have left Massachusetts. We are now in New Hampshire for the tiniest amount of time. We have stopped in Portsmouth, which I think has like a tiny little museum, and it's just like a cute little quaint town. And also timing-wise, it's good for lunch. Also, I'm seeing now that this footage is very dark. Is that going to be okay?
It'll be great.
And so we are ending our second honeymoon video here in Portland, Maine. Not Portland, Oregon, which some people thought we were going to. Unfortunately not. That sounds like a fun place, but it's way too far away and our driving enthusiasm is not that high. That said, driving here is pretty fun. I'm not a driver, but Simon tells me it's fun, especially in the big Jeep that we got. Yeah, we are in Portland, Maine, which is Maine's largest city. It's kind of in the south, and from here, tomorrow, we are going to continue to our first ever America's National Park, Acadia. We're going to make a different video from there. The weather is supposed to be kind of dreadful, so please don't have your expectations set too high. Anywho, I thought it would be really good to end this video here because one of the attractions of Portland, Maine that I super wanted to visit is the Portland Cryptozoology Museum. And I love me a good cryptid, and United States have a pretty good set of them. I'm not sure if you ever noticed, but I do have the Mothman right here, and I do have another pin that says ask me about cryptids here. So yeah, we went to the museum. It's $10 each, which is a really nice price. I think it's a really cute museum, especially if you maybe if you want to kind of like rediscover your enthusiasm for cryptids and kind of also like make yourself feel a bit better about the enthusiasm. Just overall a nice place to ignite your passion for science or cryptoscience. What I also wanted to say in this video is that Salem was so fun. I don't think that any of you who are coming to Boston would miss out on Salem, but if you are for any reason considering not coming to Salem, then you're making a mistake. I think that it's a great like complimentary visit from Boston, because in Boston you have quite a lot of that like patriotic like rah history, while in Salem there's quite a lot of history that takes consideration of everyone who lived on like the outside of the society, be it, you know, witches, pirates, sex workers. You know, there's a lot of that going on, and I really recommend finding like a good tour guide, because unlike us, you probably don't have a great friend in Salem who will tell you all the good stories. Yeah, I think it's a great place. It's great for all liberal minds, and I would recommend at least visiting, if not full on moving there if you have the chance. Okay, let me know in the comments below if you'd rather visit Boston or Salem, or if you think that you just would have to visit both, and what you think about cryptids, and what is your favorite cryptid. And while you're at it, don't forget to watch our video from, I believe, 2 years ago, where we went on a cryptid hunt around Scotland. Alrighty, that is it from us for now. We're gonna find some food, possibly seafood, but more likely Italian or Mexican. That's what we feel like tonight, and Portland seems to have a pretty bustling food scene. Yay! And after that, we go to sleep, and in the morning, off to Acadia to get as much time there as we can. All right, I'll see you then in our next video. Bye. You said that to you, Edinburgh also is kind of a witchy city, right? So we should
Yeah,
twin these
definitely
two cities.
sister cities. I like to say, I don't know if you want to put this in your video, I like to say Salem and Edinburgh both have populations of trans people who are forced to work at Harry Potter tourist attractions.